Dushyanta had denied his own son, and now a voice from the sky itself would force his hand. Ādi Parva, Book 1, Chapter 69. In the previous chapter, Shakuntala arrived at Hastinpura with her young son Sarvadamna and presented herself to King Dushyanta. He denied all knowledge of her, rejected her claims entirely, and left her without recognition or recourse. This chapter opens with that rejection still unresolved. Shakuntala spoke plainly to the king. "O king, you see the faults of others as small as a mustard seed, yet you do not see your own faults as large as a bilva fruit, even when they are right before you. Menka dwells among the celestials, and the celestials follow Menka. My birth far surpasses yours, O Dushyanta. You roam the earth while I move through the sky. See the difference between us. It is like the difference between Meru and a mustard seed. I move freely through the palaces of Mahindra, Kuber, Yam, and Varuna. Behold my power, O king. What I am about to tell you, O sinless one, is a true saying. I speak it not out of hatred but to illustrate a point, and having heard it, you should bear with me. For as long as an ugly person has not seen his own face in a mirror, he believes himself more handsome than others. But when he sees his own misshapen face reflected, he knows what he is and does not mistake himself for another. One truly endowed with beauty does not despise anyone. One who chatters incessantly and speaks harshly becomes a tormentor in this world. A fool, hearing good and bad words from chatterers, picks up the bad words, just as a pig picks up dung. But the wise person, hearing the same, picks up the virtuous word, just as a swan separates milk from water. A good person is tormented whenever he speaks ill of others. A wicked person is filled with satisfaction in doing the same. Just as the virtuous find peace by paying respects to elders, a fool finds contentment by reviling good people. Fools who see no fault in themselves, but only faults in others, live happily enough. Where good people are reviled, those good people too speak of their revilers in kind. Nothing in the world is more laughable than this, that a wicked person himself calls a virtuous person wicked. Even one who holds no belief recoils from a man fallen from truth and dharma, filled with anger, as from a venomous serpent. What then of one who does believe? One who begets a son in his own image and then disrespects him. The gods destroy his prosperity, and he does not attain the higher worlds. The ancestors declared the son to be the very foundation of lineage and family, the highest of all dharmas, sacred duties and right order. Therefore, one must not abandon a son. Manu declared these sons, those born of one's own wife, and 5 further kinds, those obtained, those purchased, those reared, those legally acknowledged, and those born of other women. Sons are dharma plava, rafts of dharma that bear one across to safety, rescuing their fathers from narka, the realm of suffering, bringing dharmic glory to men and increasing the joy of their hearts. Therefore, you should not abandon your son. While protecting yourself, truth, and dharma, O Lord of the earth, you should not carry here the false pretense of a lion who does not know his own cub. A reservoir is better than 100 wells. A yajna, Vedic offering rite, is better than 100 reservoirs. A son is better than 100 yajnas, and truth is better than 100 sons. 1,000 Ashwamedha yajnas, horse sacrifices, placed on one side of a scale and truth on the other. Truth alone surpasses 1,000 Ashwamedha yajnas. whether mastering all the Vedas and bathing in all tirthas, sacred pilgrimage waters, equals speaking truth, O king, or whether it does not, is uncertain. There is no dharma higher than truth. Nothing greater than truth is known. Truly, nothing in this world is more terrible than falsehood. O king, truth is the supreme Brahman, the ultimate reality. Truth is the supreme compact. Do not abandon your compact, O king. Let truth always be your companion. If you are inclined toward falsehood and do not yourself believe what you profess, then farewell, I leave. There is no companionship with one such as you. Even without you, O Dushyanta, my son will rule this entire earth, bounded by four quarters, O jewel among kings. Having spoken these words, Shakuntala turned to leave. Then, O Bharata, a divine voice spoke from the sky to Dushyanta, who was surrounded at that moment by his priests, his purohita, royal ritual officiant, his teachers, and his ministers. The mother is a vessel. The son belongs to the father who begot him. Accept the son, O Dushyanta. Do not disrespect Shakuntala. O Lord of men, a son elevates the one who sowed the seed from the realm of Yam. You are the sustainer of this child in the womb. Shakuntala speaks truth. A wife brings forth a son, who is the husband's own self divided into two. Therefore, accept the son of Shakuntala, O king, Dushyanta, who abandons his own living son while he himself lives. That would be ruin. Accept this great soul's son of Shakuntala, born of Dushyanta, O Parva. Since this child is to be upheld by you, and since it is also by our word, let him bear the name Bharata as your son. Having heard the words spoken by the dwellers of the celestial worlds, the Parva king rejoiced greatly and spoke to his Purohita and ministers. Let all of you hear the words of this divine messenger. I too recognize him as my own son. But had I accepted this son only on her word alone, people would have harbored doubt, and he would not have been properly established. Having thus cleared him through the divine messenger, O Bharata, the king joyfully and with great delight accepted that son. He smelled the crown of the boy's head and embraced him with deep affection. Honored by Brahmins and praised by bards, the king felt supreme joy born of touching his son. That knower of dharma then honored his wife with due reverence and spoke these soothing words to her. This union between us was made in secret, away from the eyes of the world. That is why, O goddess, I deliberated in this way to establish your purity. People might have thought, given that you are a woman, that your coming together with me was questionable. And because I had selected this son for the royal succession, I deliberated thus. The harsh and unpleasant words you spoke to me in your great anger, O beloved and wide-eyed one. Those words, spoken as they were out of love, I forgive you, O auspicious one. Having spoken thus to his beloved queen, the royal sage Dushyanta honored her with garments, food, and drink, O Bharata. Then King Dushyanta gave the name Bharata to the son of Shakuntala and consecrated him as crown prince, Yuvraj. The great wheel, chakra, of that great-souled one rolled forth, radiant, divine, unconquerable, filling all the worlds with its resounding might. He conquered the kings of the earth and made them his tributaries. He upheld the dharma of the virtuous and attained incomparable fame. Bharata became a chakravartin, universal sovereign, lord of all the earth, great in valor, and performed many yagyas like Shakra, lord of the Maruts. Kanwa officiated for him in a sacrifice performed with abundant dakshina, ritual gifts, as Daksha had done in earlier ages. The illustrious Bharata obtained a celebrated Ashwamedha known as Gohavita, at which he gave Kanwa 1,000 Padmas, a vast measure of wealth. From Bharata came the glory called Bharti, from which this lineage bears the name Bharata. All those known as Bharats, both those who came before and those who came after, take their name from him. In his lineage, there arose many great kings, mighty in power, equal to the gods in nature, equal to Brahma in splendor. Their names in full are beyond all counting. Of them, O Bharata, I shall recount the foremost, the greatly blessed ones, godlike in nature, devoted to truth and uprightness. A divine voice settles what Dushyanta refused to acknowledge. Bharat is named and consecrated, and the founding lineage of the entire epic is established in a single chapter. In the next chapter, the ancient lineage. From Daksha to Puru, the narrator traces the ancient royal lineage from Prajapati Daksha and Manu down through Pururvas, Nahusha, and Yayati, recounting the pride and fall of kings along the way. The journey continues in the next chapter.